Chapter 153. This would prevent Zhao Yun from using this as an excuse to keep coming to old Zhao's house. She would feel annoyed when she saw it and would get into trouble again. Xuanhuan's words were exactly what Zhao Yun was thinking. Once she was kicked out of old Zhao's household, she couldn't be left with an empty household. According to Dezhou's laws, she would automatically be transferred to a female household. If this was the case, her goal would be achieved. Things went so smoothly. Under such circumstances, the household was separated. Then she wouldn't be in a hurry to separate the third branch from old Zhao's household. After all, the reason for the third branch's separation was to separate the household. Zhao Baoshan advised from the side, "Old woman Yun just came over for a while, right? You don't have to be so ruthless. We're still a family in the end, aren't we?" Zhao Baoshan glanced at Zhao Yun'er and a trace of heartache flashed in his eyes. When Zhao Yun'er met Zhao Baoshan's gaze, she felt a little puzzled. Why would he speak up for her? What did his gaze mean? Could it be that old Zhao's family still had feelings for people? But Zhao Yun'er found that after she looked at Zhao Baoshan's gaze quickly shifted away and glanced elsewhere. Zhao Yun'er had a feeling that Zhao Baoshan was deliberately avoiding her gaze, as if he had done something wrong and didn't dare to face Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er had an extra thought in her mind. This Zhao Baoshan's reaction was really strange. He must be hiding some unknown secret. She had to figure it out later. "Old man, why are you always protecting this wretched girl?" What Xuanhuan couldn't understand. Zhao Yun'er shamelessly came over, but Zhao Baoshan didn't seem to mind at all. Did he really not think that Zhao Yun'er's return was a disgrace to old Zhao's family? Just like what had happened before, Zhao Baoshan didn't want to chase Zhao Yun'er out immediately. Instead, he spoke up for Zhao Yun'er. Even if he was chased out in the end, he specially arranged for the old house that old Zhao's family didn't want to live in, for fear that Zhao Yun'er wouldn't have a place to stay. How am I protecting her? I'm just speaking the truth. Zhao Baoshan spat. "Old man, the problem now is that it's fine if she comes back, but she's still being unreasonable in our house. If you don't kick her out, who knows who she'll bully when she comes back. Today's matter hasn't been settled yet." Xuanhuan was a little agitated and looked very angry. Zhao Baoshan sighed and glanced at Zhao Yun'er. He wanted to say something but didn't say it. Zhao Yun'er said to Zhao Baoshan, "Master, I appreciate your kindness, but you don't have to speak up for me. I'll solve my own problem myself." Zhao Yun'er was really afraid that Zhao Baoshan would say too much and ruin her plan. If they didn't move out, it would be troublesome. Well? Zhao Baoshan shook his head. At present, only Zhao Yun'er and Xuanhuan could solve it by themselves. His head hurt a little, so Zhao Baoshan rubbed it and sat on a stool aside. Xuanhuan continued to argue with Zhao Yun'er. It was nothing more than that Zhao Yun'er should at least give them an explanation today. She also wanted to extort money from Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er had gone to the town to sell fish before, and she had made some money. Xuanhuan meant that Zhao Yun'er would take out at least a few dozen coins to buy some meat for Zhao Qianyu to supplement his body, as compensation for Zhao Qianyu being beaten. Chapter 154. Beating up Zhao Yun'er didn't seem to be a big deal. At most, she would be able to vent her anger. In fact, she didn't gain much from it. However, after hearing what Xuanhuan said, Li Chuiying immediately felt that if she really needed money to buy meat to eat, then she would be in for a treat. When Zhao Yun'er heard that Xuanhuan wanted money so naturally, the corners of her mouth couldn't help but curl up into a sarcastic smile. This isn't the way to bully others. You only hit him a few times and you want money to buy meat to eat? His butt isn't even crippled, isn't it fine? That's because it hurts. It's natural for me to hit him. If my head was hit, it would be much more serious than his butt, right? Then will Grandma and Second Aunt send a pig over to nourish my body? Zhao Yun'er's rebuttal made Xuanhuan speechless for a moment. After all, this was indeed a little bit of a scam. Zhao Yun'er sneered and said, "If you really want my money to buy meat to nourish your body, that's fine. However, you have to ask Zhao Qianyu to come over and continue to hit me. If he is injured or crippled, I will pay for it." "You wretched girl, forget it if you don't want to pay for it. Then I will teach you a lesson right now." Xuanhuan was anxious and ordered Zhao Wenshui, "Lao Sen, hurry up and catch this little bitch." "Mother." Zhao Wenshui looked at Xuanhuan and had an unwilling expression on his face. "I asked you to catch this wretched girl. Why are you dawdling so much? Lao Sen, come over and help me." "Mother, forget it. This is not a small matter. Next time we won't ask Yun'er to come over." Zhao Yun'er's eldest uncle Zhao Wenshu said. Old Zhao's fourth son Zhao Wentao also persuaded, "Yes, mother, this is such a small matter. Moreover, this matter is not Yun'er's fault. It was Xianyu who threw a stone at someone first. It's okay to teach him a lesson. Moreover, he hit his butt, not his tibia. If Yuner really wanted to teach him a lesson, Xianyu might already be lying on the ground and unable to move. Zhao Yuner couldn't help but look at her fifth uncle again. It was rare that old Zhao's family had such a sensible person who dared to speak up. However, he was much better than her father, who was scared to stand aside when he saw Xuanhuan was angry. Most importantly, he spoke up for her. Zhao Yuner had a good impression of Zhao Wentao. Zhao Wentao's words made Li Chuang unhappy. Lao Sen, what are you talking about? Are you saying that my Qianyu is wrong? Second sister-in-law, I know you don't like my words, but this matter is indeed your Qianyu's fault. Children may be mischievous, but throwing stones at people is wrong. If you protect Qianyu like this, you will only harm him in the future. There is an example in the village next door. When he was a child, his family didn't care about him and applauded him. Chapter 155. Fourth brother, are you doing this on purpose? It's fine that you're speaking up for this wretched girl, but now you're talking about me. Why don't you care how I educate my children? Second sister-in-law, that's not what I meant. Since it's not Yuner's fault, let's not be so calculative. If people see our old Zhao's family like this, they'll laugh at us. Moreover, how can we bear to capture a little girl? Zhao Baoshan sighed and said, Second brother's wife, if you want to quarrel, you can quarrel among yourselves. Eldest brother, second brother, third brother, fourth brother, let's continue to work in the fields. We still have other things to do after we finish our work. Father, how can you be like this? She was no match for Zhao Yuner after the men left. How could she argue with her? Seeing that the men were about to leave with Zhao Baoshan, Li Chuang directly sat on the ground and cried. If we don't work, what's the point of living like this? Our son was beaten for nothing and no one stood up for him or said anything. I don't want to work, I don't want to work. Zhao Yuner looked at Li Chuang, who was sitting on the ground and kicking her legs. Her eyebrows couldn't help but twitch. This kind of woman was really rare. After glancing at her, Zhao Yuner's eyes showed deep disdain. Originally, xuanhuan wanted to help Li Chuang argue with her. However, at this time a person came over, and the whole old Zhao's family focused all their attention on this person. It was not a stranger but Zhao Yuner's fifth uncle, Zhao Wenxing. She had not seen Zhao Yuner's fifth uncle many times. Old Zhao's family had a scholar, Zhao Tianlong, and another scholar, Zhao Wenxing. Because he was the youngest son, Xuanhuan and Zhao Baoshan doted on him very much. The other sons didn't go to school, but they all went to school for Zhao Wenxing. Zhao Wenxing wasn't bad either. He was quite smart in his studies and had already passed the xianxia exam. Now he was studying in a school in the town. Every month he received money, so he didn't need old Zhao's family to support him. He could support himself. While teaching, Zhao Wenxing would also read and prepare for his exams. After all, just being an elementary scholar wasn't enough. Only by becoming a high scholar would one be able to become an official and lead a good life. Seeing that Zhao Wenxing had returned, old Zhao's family members immediately went to greet him. This was especially true for Xuanhuan, who immediately threw all her displeasure to the back of her head. Wenxing, why are you back? Xuanhuan giggled. To Xuanhuan, Zhao Wenxing was her pride. One had to know that in the entire village there were only a few elementary scholars. Xuanhuan now hoped that Zhao Wenxing would pass the high scholar exam. When he became an official, he would be able to lead a good life with her. Mother, the school is on break for a few days, so I came back. Zhao Wenxing said. Is that so? Ah, it's good that you're back. Wenxing, you must be tired from walking back. Come in quickly and drink a cup of water to quench your thirst. Mother will cook something delicious for you tonight. Not only was Xuanhuan happy, but Zhao Baoshan and the other brothers were also happy. Firstly, Zhao Wenxing was their brother after all. Secondly, every time Zhao Wenxing came back, the food at home would be much better. Chapter 156. Xuanhuan was a stingy person, so she wouldn't change the food at home. Now that Zhao Wenxing was back, they could eat better food. Okay, Mom? Zhao Wenxing smiled at Xuanhuan. Maybe it was because of his studies, Zhao Wenxing had the temperament of a scholar. He looked elegant, which was completely different from the rough men in the countryside who did rough work. Zhao Yuner glanced at her fifth uncle. He was only 25 or 26 years old. He wasn't very old. However, in the countryside, men at her fifth uncle's age were all married. Zhao Wenxing's marriage was delayed because he was studying. After he passed the xianxia exam, he felt that marriage was troublesome. Because of his family, he would be distracted more or less. He wanted to wait until he passed the jurin exam. Therefore his marriage was delayed until now. Zhao Wenxing walked into the house. and Xuanhuan asked Li Chuang to go to the kitchen to get some water. Second brother's wife, get a pot of water. Your fifth brother is back. Help him quench his thirst. Li Chuang saw that Xuanhuan had forgotten what had just happened, so he said to Xuanhuan with a crying face, Mom Yun. Before Li Chuang could finish, he was stopped by Xuanhuan. Your fifth brother is back. Hurry up and get some water. Nothing is more important than your fifth brother's return. Obviously, Xuanhuan didn't want to help Li Chuang anymore. Li Chuang stamped his feet unwillingly. Okay, Mom. Before Li Chuang turned around to go to the kitchen, he glared at Zhao Yun'er. Anyway, he couldn't just let it go like this. The corners of Zhao Yun'er's mouth pulled out a smile with a bit of provocation. I'm not afraid of you. After returning home from old Zhao's house, Zhao Yun'er was in a good mood. Although they had encountered a strange situation, the separation of households was a good start. If she separated from old Zhao's family, she would really cut off all ties with old Zhao's family. Then, everything she had would have nothing to do with them. Otherwise, no matter how much money she made now, she would still be the target of old Zhao's family in the future. Zhao Yun'er went back to her home. In the afternoon, she took care of the vegetable garden, fertilized it and watered it a little. The seeds that she sowed had already sprouted some buds. Zhao Yun'er then went to the foot of the mountain in the field. There were no vegetables at home, so she could only bring some wild vegetables to eat. Fortunately, it was spring and there were many kinds of wild vegetables. Zhao Yun'er searched for a while and picked half a basket of wild vegetables. Just as she was about to go back, she saw a red figure and a gray figure in the forest. Zhao Yun'er seemed to have heard a scream. She wondered if something had happened, so she walked in the direction of the sound. When Zhao Yun'er walked closer, she found that the person in red was Xianhong, and the person in gray was Lu San, who had peeped at Zhao Yun'er taking a bath. Lu San stood in front of Xianhong with a flirtatious smile on his face. Xianhong, you're really beautiful. No woman in the village is as beautiful as you. Lu San, what do you want? Xianhong looked at Lu San in horror. At home, she had also heard some rumors and slanders behind her back. Lu San was very lecherous. She couldn't afford to provoke him. There were many girls in the village who had been defiled by him. Chapter 157. Xianhong certainly knew what Lu San meant by having fun. She took a few steps back in horror. Lu San, what are you playing with? It's not fun at all. Lu San grabbed Xianhong. Xianhong, look at you. I'm just having fun with you. Do you have to be so nervous? It's okay to have fun with me. I promise you'll be very comfortable. Looking at the obscene smile on Lu San's face, Xianhong was so anxious that she was about to cry. If she was defiled by Lu San, how could she get married in the future? Lu San, no. Brother Lu, I won't beg you. Please let me go, okay? I'll give you whatever you want later as long as you let me go. Lu San shook his head. Xianhong, you don't mean anything. Since we're having fun together, we should be open. What do you mean by that? There's no one here. Why don't we? As Lu San spoke, he suddenly held Xianhong in his arms. Xianhong screamed. She was almost scared out of her wits. Lu San, on the other hand, wanted to reach out his mouth to Xianhong's neck. Xianhong was just a woman after all. Her strength was no match for Lu San's, so she struggled hard but failed. Zhao Yun'er looked on from the side and was very angry. Lu San was really a bad man. How could he flirt with a woman in the village so openly? Such a disgusting man should be shot to death. According to the laws of the 21st century, rape would be sentenced to many years in prison. When she had been a police officer, she had caught many rapists. Zhao Yun'er was angry, but when she saw that Lu San was flirting with Xianhong, she didn't want to save her. This woman had slandered him like that before. He hadn't even properly settled the score. This time she deserved it. Zhao Yun'er was not a saint. She had a sense of justice, but that was a habit she had developed after being a police officer for many years. However, she knew that she hated being petty and held grudges. If others had done her wrong in the past, she would make them pay for it. After thinking for a while, just as Zhao Yun'er was about to turn around and leave, she accidentally stepped on a branch on the ground and made a cracking sound. The sound was so loud that even Lu San and Xianhong heard it. Xianhong and Lu San both looked at where Zhao Yun'er was. When he saw Zhao Yun'er, Lu San's hand movement paused. As for Xianhong, after some unusual emotions flashed in her eyes, she immediately looked pitifully at Zhao Yun'er. Sister Yun'er, save me. Zhao Yun'er touched her forehead. Now she couldn't run away even if she wanted to. If Xianhong hadn't seen her, it would have been fine. Now that she had seen her and asked her for help, if she really left Xianhong behind and didn't save her, it wouldn't be good. After all, if Xianhong was defiled, this matter would become a big deal. If Xiaohong said that she had seen it, she would be drowned in the spittle of the villagers. Zhao Yuner felt very helpless at this moment. She looked at Lu San and then at Xiaohong. Sister Yuner, it was me before. I apologize. This time please save me, okay? When Xiaohong said that, tears flowed down from the corners of her eyes. I apologize to you now. Thank you for saving me today. I'll ask my parents to send you some things later. I know it's hard for you to raise a child alone. Xiaohong seemed to be very close to Zhao Yuner at this time. If it weren't for the previous incident, Zhao Yuner would probably think that Xiaohong was a good girl. She seemed to be a considerate girl. Especially her eyes, which were glistening with tears. Chapter 159. Zhao Yuner shook her head in response to Xiaohong's kindness and gratitude. She rejected her flatly. It's okay. I didn't help much, so you don't have to give it to me. Xiaohong still looked at Zhao Yuner pitifully. Sister Yuner, do you still blame me? Zhao Yuner didn't know what to say. Xiaohong had a rich imagination. What could she do? Zhao Yuner forced a smile. Xiaohong, you think too much. You said it was a misunderstanding, so you don't have to take it to heart. By the way, what are you going to do about Lu San's matter? Are you going to tell Li Zhang and ask him to seek justice for you? Xiaohong shook her head and said, No. Sister Yuner, thank you for saving me today, but let's forget about Lu San's matter. After all, he didn't do anything to me. Although it's his fault, I'm still afraid that there will be some gossip. Zhao Yuner nodded. She knew Xiaohong's concerns. After all, it had nothing to do with her. It was Xiaohong's own business, so she could deal with it herself. So she said, Okay, you can do whatever you want. I'm just suggesting. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. After Zhao Yuner finished speaking, she turned around and was about to leave. Xiaohong called out to Zhao Yuner again. Is there anything else? Zhao Yuner asked. Sister Yuner, about what happened today? I hope you won't tell anyone. I'm afraid people will gossip. After Xiaohong finished speaking, she looked at Zhao Yuner's reaction. Zhao Yuner pondered for a while. She knew what Xiaohong meant. She replied flatly, Got it. Sister Yuner, thank you. It's okay. Be careful when you go back. Zhao Yuner left with her basket. Xiaohong was still standing in the same spot. Looking at Zhao Yuner's back, a trace of viciousness flashed across her eyes. After Zhao Yuner returned home, she began to prepare lunch and put the bullfrog away. This time Zhu San also helped Dao to catch the bullfrog. She really had to buy some candies when she went to town tomorrow. The next morning Zhao Yuner went to Yang City with her basket. Her fifth uncle Zhao Wenxing had also come along this time. The reason why Zhao Wenxing returned to Sun City was to buy some xian paper. When he was in town he used ordinary paper, but for people who liked calligraphy, the best way to write was to use rice paper. However, xian paper wasn't cheap. Although Zhao Wenxing had saved enough money, he could only buy xian paper in Yang City. The town was too small to buy it. When Zhao Wenxing saw Zhao Yuner, he was quite polite. Yuner, are you going to Yang City? Zhao Yuner nodded. Yes. Why are you going, fifth uncle? I'm going to buy some xian paper back. If I don't buy it this time, I'll have to wait until the next school holiday. Oh, I see. Zhao Yuner felt relaxed talking with Zhao Wenxing. His voice was pleasant, and when he spoke, it made people feel like they were bathing in the spring breeze. Zhao Yuner immediately had a good impression of Zhao Wenxing. Chapter 160. Although Zhao Wenxing made a lot of money, he still needed to buy some books, brushes, ink, paper, and inkstone, so he spent a lot of money. Therefore, Zhao Yuner couldn't accept Zhao Wenxing's money, but she accepted Zhao Wenxing's kindness. Maybe because Zhao Wenxing's age is only 7 or 8 years older than her, the difference is not big, or maybe because Zhao Wenxing is a scholar and has more knowledge, Zhao Yuner and Zhao Wenxing talked very congenially, laughing all the way. She was living a better life now, and she didn't want other people's help. She thought Zhao Wenxing was a scholar and would be very rigid, but Zhao Wenxing could tell jokes from time to time. Zhao Yuner really had a new understanding of her fifth uncle. The women in the carriage became interested in Zhao Wenxing. After all, Zhao Wenxing was a scholar. They felt that he would be a good worker if he taught in the town. It was much better than doing farm work in the village. Therefore they started to chat with Zhao Wenxing. Wenxing, why aren't you married at your age? Your mother didn't help you find a wife. Why don't I introduce some to you? My eldest niece is 17 years old today. She's pretty and diligent. Wenxing, my niece is 16 years old this year. Although she's a little older than you, it doesn't matter. I'll introduce her to you later. As long as you like each other, it's fine. Facing these women's enthusiasm, Zhao Wenxing was a little embarrassed and unaccustomed. Zhao Wenxing smiled at those women. Well, thank you for your concern, but I don't plan to get married now. Wenxing, I don't want to criticize you, but look at you. You're already so old. In our countryside there are few people like you. You're about to get married when you're 25 years old. Yes, otherwise it'll be difficult for you to get a good girl at your age. Zhao Yun'er sat aside and sympathized with Zhao Wenxing. Zhao Yun'er had the feeling of a modern person's 7 aunts and 8 aunts urging her to get married. If it were him, he wouldn't be able to bear it. Aunts, I really thank you for your good intentions, but Wenxing really doesn't want to get married right now. Even if I do get married, I have to get my parents' approval and let them take care of it. If the aunties really want to introduce him to Wenxing, you can tell his parents first. When Zhao Wenxing spoke, he was very scholarly. After reading for a long time, he had developed such a habit of speaking. Ah, that's true. Auntie should go back and talk to your parents. Zhao Wenxing's words caused these women who were originally pestering him to stop talking. Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but smile. It seemed that her 5th uncle was quite clever. After the carriage arrived at Yang City, Zhao Wenxing pulled Zhao Yun'er to the breakfast shop to have breakfast. 5th uncle, there's no need. You can eat. I'll treat you to a meal. I haven't had the chance to treat you before, Zhao Wenxing insisted. Zhao Yun'er saw Zhao Wenxing's attitude and nodded. All right then, 5th uncle. You can treat me this time. When I earn money in the future, I'll treat you to a meal when I treat you. Of course. Chapter 161. In modern terms, it wasn't very expensive, but it tasted pretty good. Such a breakfast was sumptuous. After a while, Zhao Wenxing and Zhao Yun'er finished eating together. Yun, where are you going later? Do you want 5th uncle to accompany you? Zhao Wenxing asked. No need, 5th uncle. You go buy your things. I'll be fine by myself. Zhao Yun'er shook her head. She didn't want Zhao Wenxing to follow her because she didn't want him to know that she was selling bullfrogs. It wasn't that she didn't trust Zhao Wenxing, but she felt that the fewer people who knew about this, the better. Otherwise, Zhao Wenxing might accidentally spill the beans one day and let others know about it. All right, 5th uncle will go sell his things first. If you're better, we'll meet up at old man Hu's place. Okay, 5th uncle. The two of them parted ways. Zhao Yun'er walked around with the basket on her back. After confirming that no one was following her, she turned to Feline Restaurant. The reason why she was so cautious was because she was afraid that someone would follow her. Some women in the countryside were still very evil and couldn't bear to see others doing well. She came to town with the basket on her back and the bullfrogs at the bottom. However, she put some wild vegetables on top to cover it up, making people think that she came to Yang City to sell these things. When she arrived at Feline Restaurant, the manager, Sun Xuanhuan, welcomed her warmly. Miss Yun, you're here. Looking at Sun Xuanhuan's enthusiasm and the smile on his face, Zhao Yun'er roughly guessed that her bullfrogs had been praised well by the customer. Manager. Zhao Yun'er also greeted Sun Xuanhuan. Zhao Yun'er walked over and put down the basket on her back. Then she took out the bullfrogs. The bullfrogs she brought over today were a little more than last time. The children caught more bullfrogs yesterday. Sun Xuanhuan took it with a smile and immediately instructed the restaurant's chef to prepare it. The customer who tasted the bullfrogs yesterday specially came over today and ordered this dish. At this time, Sun Xuanhuan didn't have any ingredients here, so he was very anxious. Zhao Yun'er brought bullfrog over and heaved a heavy sigh of relief. Miss Yun'er, quickly come in and have a seat. Sun Xuanhuan's enthusiasm indicated that he could start discussing business with Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er nodded, and the two of them went to a small compartment in the restaurant. Miss Yun'er, this bullfrog is not bad for the time being. The customers like it very much. They say that they have never eaten it before. I reckon that your bullfrog will attract a lot of customers in the future, so I want to settle this business with you. Sun Xuanhuan said. His attitude was sincere and he was willing to cooperate. Zhao Yun'er was also a little excited. Seeing that she was about to succeed in this business, she knew that she didn't have to worry too much about money in the future. Since shopkeeper is so straightforward, Yun'er is also very happy to cooperate with you. Then Miss Yun'er, let's set the price of this bullfrog first. Zhao Yun'er thought about it for a moment. How much should she set the price? According to the price of bullfrogs in the modern era, it was only 6 or 7 yuan per catty. If she set the price according to this, it would naturally be a loss for Zhao Yun'er. Therefore the price must be raised. At least it was more expensive than the price of chicken, duck and fish. After all, bullfrogs were a scarce thing in this era. It was normal for them to be more expensive than chicken, duck and fish. Chapter 162. After Zhao Yuner finished speaking, Sun Zhongquan was silent for a while. He seemed to think that the price quoted by Zhao Yuner was a little too expensive. Zhao Yuner persuaded, "Manager, you know that the rarer the thing, the more expensive it is. I don't have a lot of bullfrogs. I can only send you 20 kilograms of bullfrogs at most, and I can only make 40 plates. Miss Yuner, I understand what you're saying, but can't you lower the price? In fact, it's only a few coins higher than the price of pork. It's really not expensive. I can't give you the price of pork. You must have sold a lot of pork today. If the price of this thing is the same as the price of pork, you won't be a rare thing, right?" Sun Zhongquan couldn't refute Zhao Yuner's words. The rarer the thing, the more expensive it was. If it was really a good thing, it wouldn't be excessive to raise the price. Besides, the customers did like Zhao Yuner's bullfrogs. The price of the ingredients was raised a little, but the price of a plate of Sun Zhongquan's dish was far more than that. After thinking for a while, Sun Zhongquan said, "Okay. Miss Yuner, let's settle it like this. I'll give you 20 coins for 500 kilograms of bullfrogs. You can send me as many as you have in the future." "Great." Zhao Yuner nodded in agreement. She was very happy to cooperate with Sun Zhongquan. Sun Zhongquan took out a pen and ink and began to write a document. This ancient document was equivalent to a modern contract. Both parties had to write down the previous conditions of the contract and then sign it. It was to prevent both parties from going back on their words in the future. "Come on, Miss Yuner, have a look." Sun Zhongquan said with a smile. "Miss Yuner, you can't read, right? If you can't read, you can take the document back first and find someone who can read to confirm it. If you feel that there's no problem, just leave your fingerprint here." Zhao Yuner knew what Sun Zhongquan meant. If Sun Zhongquan read it to Zhao Yuner, it might not be true. It was very likely that Zhao Yuner would cheat her because she didn't know how to read. Although Zhao Yuner knew that Sun Zhongquan wasn't such a person, the fact that he could remind Zhao Yuner like this showed that Sun Zhongquan's character was really good. And Zhao Yuner liked to deal with such people. "Shopkeeper, I can read." Zhao Yuner smiled and picked up the document to read. When Zhao Yuner said that she could recognize words, Sun Zhongquan was slightly shocked. He didn't know that this little girl from the countryside could recognize words. It seemed that Zhao Yuner wasn't as simple as he thought she was. However, he thought that Zhao Yuner wasn't simple at all. After all, Zhao Yuner was good at talking when it came to business. She didn't seem like an ordinary country girl at all. After reading the document, Zhao Yuner made sure that there was no problem, then she picked up a pen and signed her name. She had specially practiced calligraphy under the influence of her grandfather when she was a child. Although she wasn't very good at it, her handwriting was very delicate and beautiful. There were 2 copies of the document. Zhao Yuner and Sun Zhongquan each had 1 copy. "Miss Yuner, it's a pleasure to cooperate with you. How many kilograms of bullfrog did you send today? I'll go to settle the bill now." Chapter 163. According to the price set by Sun Zhongquan, she only paid 220 copper coins for the 11 catty bullfrogs she brought over today. Zhao Yuner was overjoyed to receive so much money in one go. If she could earn more than 200 copper coins a day, she would be able to earn 300 to 400 copper coins if she caught more bullfrogs in the future. She would be able to save a lot of money in a year. Although this amount of money could not be compared to the rich people, it was definitely a huge fortune for a country bumpkin. When she slowly saved up money, her life would get better and better. After receiving the money, Zhao Yuner prepared to buy some candies. She turned around and just as she was about to go to Feline restaurant, she saw Mu Lianfeng walking towards her. Zhao Yuner stopped in her tracks and blinked her eyes to confirm that she was not mistaken. Was it really Mu Lianfeng? Why did she bump into him every time she came here? Wasn't it too much of a coincidence? Zhao Yuner did not have time to think so much. Mu Lianfeng had already walked in front of her and smiled at Zhao Yuner. "Miss Yuner, what a coincidence." Zhao Yuner put away the surprise in her eyes and smiled at Mu Lianfeng. "Yes, what a coincidence. Young Master Mu, why are you here too?" "I just came here to eat. The bullfrog you sent over yesterday was very delicious. I want to try it again." "If that's the case, then come in. I just sent some over. If you came early, you would probably have to wait and not be able to eat it. If you came late, it would probably be sold out. Now is just the right time." Zhao Yuner smiled faintly and invited Mu Lianfeng into the house. She was already very happy to be able to see Mu Lianfeng today. However, there was no reason to stay with Mu Lianfeng any longer. It was better to leave. Hence, she bid farewell to Mu Lianfeng. "If there's nothing else, I'll leave first." "Wait, Miss Yuner." Mu Lianfeng reached out as if he wanted to hold Zhao Yuner. Realizing that his behavior was a little abrupt, he withdrew his hand. Zhao Yun'er looked at Mu Lianfeng in confusion. "Young Master Mu, is there anything else?" Mu Lianfeng tugged the corner of his mouth. "Since I happen to meet you, why don't you come in for a meal? The dishes in this restaurant are not bad." Zhao Yun'er was stunned. Was Mu Lianfeng inviting her? She was excited and did not want to reject it, especially when she met Mu Lianfeng's mesmerizing and soul-stirring eyes. But what would happen if she agreed to it? What would her interactions with Mu be considered to be? The more she interacted with him, the deeper her feelings would be. She was afraid that she would not be able to control herself. What if she liked Mu Lianfeng too much? There was an unbridgeable distance between them because of their identities. Since that was the case, she should not give herself too much fantasy. Zhao Yun'er smiled bitterly and shook her head. "No, young Master Mu, you can go eat by yourself. I still have to buy some things and drive the ox cart back." But Mu Lianfeng took a deep look at Zhao Yun'er. He found that he had no reason to keep Zhao Yun'er. He sighed softly. "All right then. Miss Yun'er, if you have time next time, I'll treat you to a meal." Zhao Yun'er nodded and agreed first. But who could say for sure if she had time in the future? Mo Yen, who was behind Mu Lianfeng, glanced at her master and then at Zhao Yun'er. She could see some clues. Chapter 164. He had clearly been waiting at Fulian restaurant for quite some time. When he saw Zhao Yun'er come out, he hurried over and pretended to run into her by coincidence. This was the first time he had seen someone go through so much trouble. After all, Mu Lianfeng was the most handsome man in Yang City. His status was extremely high as well. Even the young ladies of the capital would be infatuated with Mu Lianfeng. However, he had never looked at any woman properly. Now, for a woman, he had come so early to wait for her. He had even gone through so much trouble to come up with an excuse to invite her to a meal. In the end, she had rejected him without even letting out a fart. Heavens, Mo Yen rubbed his forehead. Was this really the master he knew? If he liked a woman, he would chase her without hesitation? Even he felt anxious for him with such efficiency. Of course, Mo Yen did not consider Zhao Yun'er's status or who he liked. He supported Mu Lianfeng to be with any woman. Thinking about how Murong Shuang was so unruly despite her status, Mo Yen still felt that Mu Lianfeng should find a slightly more ordinary woman. Status was not a problem. The main thing was that he liked her and was gentle and considerate. Otherwise he would not have married a wife but an ancestor. However, Mo Yen glanced at Zhao Yun'er a few more times. Why did this woman seem so familiar? He felt like he had seen her somewhere before, but he could not recall where. Cough cough. Mo Yen coughed twice. Once Zhao Yun'er was a few hundred meters away, Mo Yen whispered to Mu Lianfeng, "Master, I'm not trying to criticize you, but if you like her, you should be a little more domineering. You finally found an opportunity, but she rejected you with just a few words." Mu Lianfeng glanced at Mo Yen. Mo Yen immediately stood up straight and stopped talking. His face also became cold again. Fine, fine, fine. He should not have said it. However, with his master like this, he could guarantee that chasing a girl like this would not work. Aya. Out of the way, out of the way. A few horses suddenly appeared not far away. The girl in front was dressed in red and held a long whip in her hand. Her beautiful hair fluttered in the wind. The way he spurred the horse was very handsome. The woman was none other than Murong Shuang, and the one riding behind her was her maid. When Zhao Yun'er left, she was thinking about something. Her mind was filled with Mu Lianfeng and the disappointment in Mu Lianfeng's eyes when she rejected him. Wasn't this man's attitude towards her a little too good? They had only met by chance and could not even be considered good friends. Why was he acting like this? Zhao Yun'er did not notice Murong Shuang's voice because she was thinking about all these messy things in her mind. By the time he reacted, it was already too late to dodge. Even though Murong Shuang managed to pull back the whip in time, Zhao Yun'er was still severely injured. His entire body fell to the ground. His knees were red and swollen. The skin was scraped and bleeding. Murong Shuang did not feel guilty at all. Instead, she scolded Zhao Yun'er, "Are you blind? Or are you deaf? If you know that I'm coming, you should get lost as far as you can." Murong Shuang's arrogant attitude made Zhao Yun'er a little angry. Was it really okay to be so unreasonable? Chapter 165. Zhao Yun'er raised her head angrily. When she looked at Murong Shuang, both of them were slightly surprised for a moment. Murong Shuang's eyes burned with a trace of malice. "So it's you. B*tch will always be a B*tc. Murong Shuang felt that this was just the right time to teach Zhao Yun'er a good lesson. She still hadn't gotten her revenge from last time. Just as the whip in her hand was about to fall on Zhao Yun, it was caught by Mu Lianfeng. Murong Shuang looked at Mu Lianfeng in surprise and asked, "Cousin? Why are you here?" Mu Lianfeng snorted softly, "Shuang, are you always so cruel? I've misjudged you." Seeing Mu Lianfeng's disappointment in her, Murong Shuang quickly explained, "No, cousin, it's not like what you see. It's all this B*****''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''''> She's blocking my way. You're still twisting words and forcing logic? You've done something wrong. There are so many pedestrians on this road. If you want to ride a horse, there's plenty of space. Now that you've bumped into someone, you still want to hit her?" Mu Lianfeng's tone was a little cold as he reprimanded Murong Shuang. Seeing Mu Lianfeng's anger, Murong Shuang's heart sank. It's over, it's over. Mu Lianfeng wouldn't hate her even more now, would he? It's all Zhao Yun's fault. Murong Shuang's hatred for Zhao Yun increased by a few notches. "Cousin." Murong Shuang looked pitifully at Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng's face was cold. He didn't look at her. Instead, he squatted down and asked Zhao Yun, "Miss Yun, how are you? Are your injuries serious?" Meeting Mu Lianfeng's concerned eyes, Zhao Yun could even smell the fresh and pleasant scent on his body as they were very close to each other. She held her breath and shook her head. I'm fine. Don't worry about me." Mu Lianfeng nodded. "That's good. Let me help you up." "All right." When Mu Lianfeng helped Zhao Yun up, Zhao Yun still underestimated her injury. Her whole body fell heavily to the ground, and there was a sharp pain in her knee. Fortunately, Mu Lianfeng reacted quickly and supported Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun fell heavily into Mu Lianfeng's arms. "Is it very painful?" Mu Lianfeng's concerned voice rang in her ears again. Murong Shuang, who was sitting on horseback, was about to explode in anger. B*****, he did it on purpose. How shameless of her to approach Mu Lianfeng in such a way. "I don't think my leg can walk," Zhao Yun whispered. Mu Lianfeng lowered his head and looked at Zhao Yun's leg. It looked a little serious. He quickly took out his handkerchief and wrapped Zhao Yun's leg. Then he said to Zhao Yun, "I'll take you to the clinic to treat it. Otherwise, it won't be good if the situation worsens." Zhao Yun nodded in agreement. She thought that Mu Lianfeng would just help her over. She didn't expect that Mu Lianfeng would actually carry her. The moment her legs left the ground, Zhao Yun's mind went blank for a moment. Mu Lianfeng actually carried her? And in front of everyone? Her face couldn't help but redden. Was she dreaming? If it wasn't for the pain in her leg, she really would have thought that she was dreaming. "Cousin." Murong Shuang shouted at Mu Lianfeng unwillingly. Chapter 166. Murong Shuang bit her lower lip. Her eyes were filled with jealousy and resentment. Mu Lianfeng did not even look at Murong Shuang's cries. He carried Zhao Yun and left. Watching Mu Lianfeng carry Zhao Yun away, Murong Shuang was about to go mad with jealousy. She was just an ugly village woman. Was there a need for her cousin to do this? Even if he liked her, he would not like such a woman, right? Zhao Yun's body was pressed against Mu Lianfeng. The two of them could feel each other's warmth through their clothes. She had never been hugged by a man like this. Her petite body felt a sense of security in Mu Lianfeng's embrace. Zhao Yun's cheeks could not help but heat up. She did not know what to say to Mu Lianfeng along the way. Mo Yin carried a sword and followed behind the two of them. She maintained a distance. She did not want to be a third wheel and disturb her mistress. When they arrived at the clinic, the doctor in charge gave Zhao Yun a simple treatment. Fortunately, her muscles and bones were not injured. Otherwise, the situation would be even worse. The wound was still a little deep. Zhao Yun estimated that she would need a few days to recuperate. "Miss Yun, I'm sorry," Mu Lianfeng said. Zhao Yun was stunned. When she looked at Mu Lianfeng, she did not understand. Why was he apologizing to her? She had not even thanked Mu Lianfeng for bringing her here to treat her wound. She had to thank him for stopping Murong Shuang. Otherwise, who knew what Murong Shuang would have done to her? "You did not do anything wrong to me. Why are you apologizing to me?" "Shuang is not sensible. I apologize on her behalf. She is my cousin." Zhao Yun pursed her lips. "You're you. She is she. What she did has nothing to do with you. Why are you apologizing?" Zhao Yun had always been very clear about things. She was only concerned about the matter and not the person. Just like how there were so many people in old Zhao's family that she hated, she didn't hate all of them. Instead, she socialized with them separately. "But she's still my cousin. Miss Yun, I'll discipline her well." Mu Lianfeng wanted to say something, but he didn't. After the wound was treated and eased, Zhao Yun felt that the pain was finally much better. However, it was still difficult for him to walk on his own. Mu Lianfeng insisted on sending Zhao Yun back. Miss Yun, let me send you back. Oh, that's too much trouble for you. I'll take the ox cart back myself. You can help me take it back to the village. Zhao Yun did not refuse politely. She really did not want to trouble Mu Lianfeng too much. So many things had happened since she came to Yang City. Who knew how many times this man had helped her? Even with Murong Shuang's matter, Mu Lianfeng was also responsible. He had helped her so many times, so it should be enough to make up for it. Miss Yun, your injury was caused by my cousin. I obviously have the duty to send you back. If you take the ox cart, it'll be hard to avoid bumps with so many people squeezing together. It'll be bad if you get hurt. Let me send you back. I'll ride a horse. It won't take long. I'll be able to send you back very soon. Mu Lianfeng was extremely happy to send Zhao Yun back. He had not been able to find any opportunities in the first place. Now that he had finally found one, how could he let it go so easily? Mo Yin smiled faintly on the side. He knew exactly what his master was up to. Chapter 167. Zhao Yun met Mo Yan's smiling foxy eyes. Then she looked at Mu Lianfeng. What did this mean? Could it be that Mu Lianfeng had special feelings for her? She didn't like to have unrealistic dreams, so she didn't expect Mu Lianfeng to have any feelings for her. Mu Lianfeng looked back and glanced at Mo Yen indifferently. Master, I was wrong. I'll shut up. Mo Yen smiled embarrassedly and turned around in a hurry. He was clearly helping her, but she made it seem like he had done something wrong. That was what he thought, but he didn't let her say it out loud. Zhao Yun wanted to say something, but Mu Lianfeng said, Miss Yun, I'll send you back. Don't refuse. His tone was domineering and undeniable. Zhao Yun's heart trembled. She nodded. Then I'll have to trouble you, young Master Mu. She was still a little greedy for the feeling of being with Mu Lianfeng. Even though she knew it was impossible, she still couldn't control herself. Perhaps this was the way of relationships. It's no trouble at all. However, if I go back with you, can you help me inform my fifth uncle first so that he doesn't have to wait for me? Looking at the time, it was almost time for the ox carriage to return to the village. Zhao Yun was afraid that Zhao Wenxing would be anxious if he didn't see her. Mu Lianfeng called Mo Yen. Go and inform Miss Yun. Yes, master. Zhao Yun told him the address, and Mo Yen left happily. Mu Lianfeng told Zhao Yun to rest a little longer. Otherwise the bumpy ride might tear her wound. Seeing that it was almost noon, Zhao Yun didn't insist on resting. If she went home too late, Dao would be anxious again. Thus she said to Mu Lianfeng, Young Master Mu, please send me back now. Mu Lianfeng nodded and found a horse for Zhao Yun to get on. After helping Zhao Yun onto the horse's back, Mu Lianfeng flipped over and jumped onto the horse's back. The two of them sat on the same horse. Zhao Yun was surrounded by Mu Lianfeng. His whole body was close to her. Wasn't this posture a little too intimate? Miss Yun, are you seated properly? If you sit tight, we'll start walking. Mu Lianfeng asked. His warm breath blew on Zhao Yun's ear, making it a little itchy. Zhao Yun nodded. All right, Mu Lianfeng replied. A pair of beautiful hands stretched out from behind Zhao Yun and grabbed the whip. Hiya! Mu Lianfeng squeezed the horse's belly with his legs. The horse galloped out quickly. It was Zhao Yun's first time riding a horse. The bumpy feeling on the carriage made her a little uncomfortable. Her body was bumpy. Fortunately, Mu Lianfeng was there to protect her. She wouldn't have fallen off the horse. Along the way, Zhao Yun didn't know what to say to Mu Lianfeng. The two of them rode on the horse. When they were about to reach the entrance of the village, they met Father Hu's ox cart. Ah, isn't that Yun'er girl? Why is she riding a horse with a man? Tiske tiske tisk. Although they were surprised, many women still felt a little jealous when they saw Zhao Yun riding a horse. Mu Lianfeng, who was behind Zhao Yun, was handsome and dressed luxuriously. At a glance, one could tell that his identity was not ordinary. Such a person was actually with Zhao Yun. They didn't know how Zhao Yun knew Mu Lianfeng. Chapter 168. That's right. How could she do something so immoral? Which girl is like this? It's not like he's her man. How could she get so close to him? Exactly. But it's normal for her to be shameless. After all, it's normal for her to get pregnant before marriage. Why wouldn't she do something like this? That's right. It's okay to get pregnant before marriage. There's nothing else she wouldn't do. Zhao Wenxing, who was sitting in the carriage, felt very uncomfortable when he heard these people talk about Zhao Yun like this. His niece was clearly not like what these women said. And his Yun'er is not like what you said. Can you not talk about her like that? Zhao Wenxing's voice became more severe. The women looked at Zhao Wenxing and were stunned. But they didn't continue to speak. If it was someone else who said this, they probably wouldn't care. But Zhao Wenxing was a scholar after all. They still wanted to marry Zhao Wenxing, so it wouldn't be good to offend him. If he passed the imperial examination in the future and became a high-ranking official, it wouldn't be good to offend him. Zhao Yun'er and Mu Lianfeng rode away under the strange gazes of these women. Zhao Wenxing was also curious about who the man behind Zhao Yun'er was. Of course, he could tell that this man's identity wasn't ordinary. He was dressed luxuriously and had an extraordinary aura. His family background was definitely not bad. Zhao Yun'er lowered her head. When she passed by the ox cart, she felt uncomfortable all over. She knew that these women would probably gossip about some things when they returned. The horse stopped in front of Zhao Yun'er's house. Daodu and Zhao Tianfu were playing at the door. When they saw Zhao Yun'er, they immediately ran over. Daodu looked up and saw Mu Lianfeng on the horse. He seemed very happy and smiled sweetly at Mu Lianfeng. "Uncle." Seeing the smile on Daodu's little face, Mu Lianfeng felt his heart tremble and a warm feeling overflowed. Mu Lianfeng also smiled at Daodu and nodded. "Horse, horse," Daodu pointed at the horse. He was interested in the tall and handsome horse. This horse belonged to Mu Lianfeng. It had been with Mu Lianfeng for some time. Fergana horses were like a gust of wind when they ran. However, Mu Lianfeng was afraid that running too fast would aggravate his wound, so he deliberately slowed down. The appearance of this horse was also more eye-catching than the average horse. Its coat was shiny and smooth. When it stopped, the horse raised its head high. Perhaps it was because she was used to interacting with Mu Lianfeng that she had a hint of Mu Lianfeng's temperament. Mu Lianfeng dismounted from his horse in a dashing movement. Then he helped Zhao Yun'er down. "Come Yun'er, I'll carry you down." Zhao Yun'er was a little embarrassed in front of a child. After looking at Daodu, she looked at Mu Lianfeng. "It's easy to get hurt when you get off the horse. Let me carry you down." "Oh, okay." Zhao Yun'er knew about her injury. She wanted to persevere, but she didn't have the ability. She couldn't joke around with her body. If she accidentally got off the horse and hurt herself again, she didn't know how long she would need to rest. "Come." Mu Lianfeng stretched out his hand and supported Zhao Yun'er. Then he gently carried her down. Her petite body looked like it was effortless for Mu Lianfeng to carry her. "Mother, what's wrong?" Daodu looked at Zhao Yun'er and asked in confusion. Chapter 169. Zhao Yun'er said. Daodu frowned when he heard that. He looked at Zhao Yun'er with worry in his eyes. "Mother, how did you get hurt? Are you okay?" "I'm fine. Daodu, don't worry. Mother will be fine after some rest." Zhao Yun'er comforted. Although Zhao Yun'er said so, Daodu was still worried and frowned. A pair of watery sisters nervously stared at Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er's heart warmed when she saw her son like this. She had to be well. In this life she still had a son who cared about her. Mu Lianfeng carried Zhao Yun'er into the house and sat on the bed. Actually, after resting for such a long time, her leg was much better. It wasn't that she couldn't move for a while. She could still stand up, but she couldn't move too vigorously. Otherwise, it would tear her wound again. Daodu lay on the bed and looked at the wound on Zhao Yun'er's leg. His small face showed a hint of heartache. "Mother, Daodu will blow on it for you." When Daodu blew on Zhao Yun'er's leg, it was cool and comfortable. Zhao Yun'er patted Daodu's head. "Mother is really fine. This uncle took Mother to get her wound bandaged. It's not a big deal. She'll get better soon." Daodu looked at Mu Lianfeng again. "Uncle, thank you." Zhao Yun'er was satisfied with Daodu's politeness. Mu Lianfeng also patted Daodu's head and said to Daodu, "It's okay. Uncle and your mother are good friends. It's my duty to help your mother. But Daodu still has to thank Uncle." Haha. Mu Lianfeng stood in Zhao Yun'er's house. He had no intention of leaving. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng had helped her so much, Zhao Yun'er didn't want to drive him away. Thus, she said to Mu Lianfeng, "Young Master Mu, why don't you stay and have a meal with me?" "Sure," Mu Lianfeng answered straightforwardly. Zhao Yun'er was stunned. The reason this guy didn't want to leave was because he wanted to stay and freeload a meal. "Then I'll go cook." Zhao Yun'er smiled. "Mother, Daodu will help you." Daodu followed. Zhao Yun'er was still able to stand up and cook. With Daodu's help, the meal was quickly finished. They didn't have anything to entertain Mu Lianfeng at home. There was no meat and they couldn't be too shabby when they entertained him. There were still some pigeon eggs left at home. Xiaoyun stir-fried all of them and put some chili in them. In addition, she cooked a plate of bullfrog and a plate of vegetables. She brought the dishes to the table and said to Mu Lianfeng, "There's nothing good in the house, only these. Young Master Mu, please don't dislike them." Mu Lianfeng glanced at the dishes on the table and smelled the delicious smell. He smiled at Zhao Yun'er and said, "It's already very sumptuous. Then let's eat." Zhao Yun'er asked the family to sit down. The dishes Zhao Yun'er cooked this time were different from the last time, but the taste was still as delicious as ever. Mu Lianfeng usually didn't eat much at home. When he came to Zhao Yun'er's place, his appetite was stimulated. Unknowingly, he ate a lot of bowls of rice. He had eaten a lot of delicious food, but this was the first time that he had eaten something that gave him a very warm feeling. Zhao Yun'er and Dao Du were eating with their heads lowered. Zhao Yun'er also picked up food for the two children from time to time. Dao Du held the bowl in his small hands and ate with a satisfied face. Chapter 170. At this moment he seemed to feel that Zhao Yun'er was his wife and Dao Du was his child. Their family was eating at the same table and living such a peaceful and warm life. Mu Lianfeng was a little absent-minded for a moment. Zhao Yun'er raised her head and met Mu Lianfeng's eyes. His gaze was a little hot. Zhao Yun'er blushed slightly and coughed softly to signal Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng finally reacted and was a little embarrassed. Mu Lianfeng didn't know how to explain. "Let's eat," Zhao Yun'er said. They could only rely on eating to resolve the awkwardness between the two of them. After eating, Zhao Yun'er cleaned up the dishes on the table. Zhao Tianfu insisted on helping Zhao Yun'er wash the dishes. Seeing that Zhao Tianfu was sensible, Zhao Yun'er didn't insist and let Zhao Tianfu wash the dishes once. After eating and drinking to his heart's content, Mu Lianfeng stood in the courtyard of Zhao Yun'er's house. Standing outside, he could smell the fragrance of flowers and plants. Zhao Yun'er's house was a little shabby, but this simple environment made people feel very comfortable. Without the constraints of tall buildings and courtyard walls, a carefree rural life could immerse his heart in his heart. How good would it be if he could live such a life? However, this kind of peaceful life was an extravagant wish for him. Dao Du stood behind Mu Lianfeng and asked sweetly, "Uncle, what are you thinking about?" Mu Lianfeng turned his head and squatted down. Uncle is not thinking about anything. But Dao Du saw that Uncle is not talking. Uncle is just looking around. Your house is so beautiful. It's all Mother's doing. Dao Du smiled. Looking at Mu Lianfeng's horse lowering its head to eat vegetables, Dao Du walked over and squatted in front of the horse to watch it eat. Dao Du looked at it with a serious expression. Mu Lianfeng's horse wasn't afraid of strangers. Even if Dao Du was there, it still ate leisurely. "Dao Du, do you want to ride a horse?" Mu Lianfeng walked over and asked Dao Du's small body. "Uncle, can Dao Du ride a horse?" After hearing this, Dao Du's eyes lit up and seemed to be a little expectant. "Of course. Come, Uncle will take you on," Mu Lianfeng said. Dao Du, let's start riding," Mu Lianfeng said gently. "Okay." Dao Du nodded and responded. There was a hint of excitement in his voice. Mu Lianfeng raised his whip and the horse started to gallop. Mu Lianfeng didn't go far. He only brought Dao Du around Zhao Yun'er's house. Zhao Yun'er stood at the door of her house and heard Dao Du's bell-like laughter. She looked over and saw Mu Lianfeng riding a horse with Dao Du. Perhaps because Dao Du liked this feeling, his little face was full of excitement. Mu Lianfeng's horse didn't gallop very fast. The two of them sat on the horse's back. From a certain angle, the two of them looked surprisingly similar. They really looked like father and son. When this thought appeared in Zhao Yun'er's mind, Zhao Yun'er was secretly shocked. She must have gone crazy. She actually associated Dao Du and Mu Lianfeng together. Chapter 171. However, when she looked at Dao Du and Mu Lianfeng together, they really did look like father and son. Zhao Yun'er knew that when a child was young, in addition to having a mother, they also had to have a father. After all, it was impossible for a person to have two roles. A woman's personality was never like a man's. If Dao Du was always with her, it would be easy for him to develop a girl's personality under her influence. Mu Lianfeng ran for a while with Dao Du before coming down. Mu Lianfeng flipped off the horse and carried Dao Du down. Dao Du looked even smaller in Mu Lianfeng's wide arms. "Dao Du, do you like to ride horses?" Mu Lianfeng asked. His voice was very gentle, as if he was talking to his own child. His eyes were also filled with fatherly love. "Yes." Dao Du answered sweetly. "That's good. Now Uncle has to go back." If uncle comes again next time, I'll bring Dowdu to ride horses, okay? Yes, yes. Dowdu nodded heavily. When Mu Lianfeng was about to put Dowdu down, Dowdu was very reluctant. He kissed Mu Lianfeng on the cheek. Dowdu, be good. You have to listen to your mother. Mu Lianfeng patted Dowdu's head dotingly. When the two stood together, the huge difference in height created a sharp contrast. However, the scene of the two looking at each other gave off a very cute feeling. Uncle, don't worry. Dowdu is very obedient. Even if uncle doesn't say it, Dowdu will listen to mother. Dowdu said sweetly. That's good. Mu Lianfeng smiled with satisfaction, then said goodbye to Zhao Yuner. Miss Yuner, then I'll go back first. Zhao Yuner nodded. Okay. Be careful on the road. All right. Although Mu Lianfeng was reluctant to leave, he also understood that he had no reason to stay. After Mu Lianfeng left, Zhao Yuner took Dowdu to rest in the house. Dowdu, you're so happy that you're still smiling. Zhao Yuner smiled as she caressed Dowdu's little face. Mother, riding is so fun. Dowdu really likes it. As long as Dowdu likes it. Mother, Dowdu likes to ride horses and he also likes Uncle Feng. When will Uncle Feng come? Looking at Dowdu's expectant face, he didn't hide his love for Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yuner couldn't help but chuckle. This Mu Lianfeng had only come to their house twice. How did he make Dowdu like him so much so quickly? Zhao Yuner shook her head. Mother doesn't know when Uncle Feng will come, but even if he comes, there probably won't be many chances. Hearing Zhao Yuner say this, Dowdu was clearly a little disappointed. Zhao Yuner caressed Dowdu's head. Dowdu, can you tell mother why you like your Uncle Feng? Because Uncle Feng is a very good person. He's very good to Dowdu and mother. Just because of that. Also, Dowdu thinks that Uncle Feng is very tall and good-looking and he should be very rich, right? Seeing Dowdu frowning and thinking hard, Zhao Yuner couldn't help but smile. Why would Dowdu say that? Because mother said before that she would find a tall, handsome and rich father for Dowdu. Dowdu thinks that Uncle Feng is like that. Dowdu also likes Uncle Feng. Mother, do you think Uncle Feng is suitable? Can he be Dowdu's father? Chapter 172. This little bun really remembered every single word that she said in his heart. Hearing Dowdu's question, Zhao Yuner smiled. Do you really want me to find you a father? The little bun lowered his head as if he agreed. Zhao Yuner rubbed Dowdu's head. Can you tell me why? Isn't it enough that Dowdu has me? Or does Dowdu think that I'm not good enough for you? Dowdu shook his head. No, mother. Mother is very good to Dowdu, and Dowdu likes mother very much. It's just that. Just what? It's just that everyone else has a father. They say that a child without a father is a wild child, so Dowdu also wants to have a father. That way no one will say that Dowdu is a wild child in the future. After the little bun finished speaking, he lowered his head and looked very sad. Zhao Yuner felt sad when she saw Dowdu's sad expression. In Dowdu's heart, the role of a father was not something that could be replaced by just anyone. She gently rubbed Dowdu's head. Dowdu has me, so how can I be a wild child? Don't worry, I'll try my best to find a father for Dowdu, but your Uncle Feng? I also want him to be Dowdu's father, but he might not be willing. Dowdu raised his head to look at Zhao Yuner and asked in confusion, why is Uncle Feng unwilling to be Dowdu's father? Is it because Uncle Feng doesn't like Dowdu? Zhao Yuner smiled wryly at Dowdu's question. Children were still innocent and didn't understand a lot of things. Zhao Yuner was still thinking about how to explain it to Dowdu. Dowdu, it's not because of you. Uncle Feng has a lot of girls behind him and so many girls like your Uncle Feng. Therefore he might not like me. Only if your Uncle Feng also likes me can he marry me, then he can be Dowdu's father. Dowdu nodded, but he didn't fully understand. Oh mother, do you like Uncle Feng? Ahem. Well. Zhao Yuner didn't know how she should answer. Did she like him? Of course she liked him. Mu Lianfeng was such an outstanding man, how could she not like him? As long as a woman saw him, she would be enchanted. He had a charming temperament that could take people's souls away. Dowdu saw that Zhao Yuner was silent, so he continued, then mother also likes Uncle Feng. Mother, Dowdu will work hard in the future to make Uncle Feng like mother. I will help mother chase after Uncle Feng and make Uncle Feng be Dowdu's father in the future. Zhao Yuner was really amused by Dowdu. It was the first time that she saw a little boy vowing to help his mother make other men like her. However, when she saw that Dowdu couldn't wait to find a father, Zhao Yuner fell into deep thought again. Who was Dowdu's father? Why did the original owner get pregnant before marriage? Although she had inherited the original owner's memory, when she tried to recall anything about Dowdu's father, her head couldn't help but hurt. She couldn't remember anything at all. The original owner purposely forgot about this matter. She could only rely on Lu Lei. When Lu Lei heard Zhao Yun'er's request, he agreed without hesitation. In his opinion, helping Zhao Yun'er deliver goods was a very simple matter. It wasn't too troublesome. He was afraid that Zhao Yun'er would take on everything herself. If she didn't ask for his help, he wouldn't even have a chance to perform. Chapter 174. Zhao Yun'er was embarrassed to trouble someone else to do something for her. She could earn more than 200 copper coins a day. If she gave it to Lu Lei, it would only be 40 to 50 copper coins. Actually, it wasn't a small amount. However, it was only right to ask someone to do it for him and keep the secret. In addition, Lu Lei often hunted prey and sent it to Feline restaurant. It was perfect for Lu Lei to do it. No one would suspect anything. When Lu Lei heard Zhao Yun'er say this, he hurriedly refused. Yun'er, there's no need. It's just a small matter. If you still pay me, I'll be too embarrassed to deliver it for you. Zhao Yun'er saw that Lu Lei was serious and didn't seem to be joking. She knew that even if she insisted, Lu Lei wouldn't accept it. Thus she sighed. All right, brother Lei, you don't have to accept it. However, how about you have lunch at my house when you come back? Otherwise, you won't be able to make it in time when you come back from Yang City. Zhao Yun'er made a concession. Lu Lei thought about it and nodded in agreement. Zhao Yun'er casually made some dishes for dinner. She soaked the dried mushrooms in water and added some oil. The taste was pretty good. With a plate of bullfrogs, it wasn't particularly bad even in the 21st century. Zhao Yun'er asked Zhao Qianfu to call Zhao Tianan over for dinner. Zhao Tianan had been busy doing farm work in the fields for the past few days. He had lost a lot of weight and tanned a lot. Zhao Yun'er felt a little heartache when she saw a teenage boy working like an adult. Zhao Tianan should be in high school in the 21st century. He definitely didn't need to do these chores at home. Come, Tianan, eat more. Zhao Yun'er gave Zhao Tianan more food. There was a lot of work and he couldn't eat much when he went back, so Zhao Tianan had lost weight. If he ate more here, he should be able to make up for it. Even if he couldn't, at least it could prevent Zhao Tianan from losing weight. He was already very thin. If he continued to lose weight, he would only be skin and bones. Thank you, second sister. Zhao Tianan said. It's okay. More. There's a lot of food. Okay. Zhao Tianan hesitated for a while, then nodded. Her brother was still thinking about her and was not willing to eat too much. Zhao Yun'er said, Tianan, it's okay to eat more. Second sister will be able to earn a lot of money in the future. Although it's not a lot, the food will be enough to eat in the future. Zhao Tianan raised his buried head, his eyes bright and spirited. Really, second sister? Of course it's true. Why would I lie to you? You'll know in the future. If I can't earn money, how can I buy food? Zhao Tianan nodded heavily. That's good. After dinner, Zhao Tianan didn't leave immediately. Instead, he chatted with Zhao Yun'er and talked about old Zhao's family. Zhao Yun'er saw that Zhao Tianan knew a lot. He didn't get involved in what happened in old Zhao's family, but he basically remembered everything. Zhao Yun'er thought of the original owner's pregnancy before marriage, so she asked Zhao Tianan. Tianan, second sister knocked her head on the ground last time, so I have forgotten some things. I have something to ask you. Can you tell second sister about it? Chapter 175. I just want to ask you, did you have a crush on any man, or were you in a relationship with any man before? If she did, it was normal for her to have sex with the man she liked, although it was a little immoral to get married before marriage in this era. No. Zhao Tianan shook her head. Sister, you usually don't go out of the house. How could you have a relationship with anyone? Lu Lei is such a good man and he likes you. You used to avoid him whenever you saw him and you usually don't talk to men. Zhao Yun'er heard Zhao Tianan's words, and the corners of her mouth couldn't help but twitch. Was it really that exaggerated? The original host had already reached this stage? If that was the case, it ruled out the possibility that Zhao Yun'er had a child with the man she liked. If that was the case, then Zhao Yun'er had sex with Daodu's father unwillingly. Could it be that someone else had raped her? Looking at Daodu's appearance, he didn't look very similar to Zhao Yun'er. Since Daodu was so good-looking, Daodu's father should be good-looking as well. Such a man didn't need to be forced. She believed that there would be women who would take the initiative to approach him. Zhao Yun'er thought for a while but still couldn't figure out what was going on. Tianan, was there anything wrong with my second sister before she accidentally got pregnant with Daodu? Zhao Yun'er asked again. She didn't know why, but she was more and more curious about the truth now. She wanted to know what had happened back then. What's wrong? Zhao Tianan frowned and tried to recall what he had seen. Second sister, there was nothing wrong with you before, but... Zhao Tianan hesitated and seemed to remember something. Zhao Yuner hurriedly asked, but what? Second sister, I remember one night when I woke up to take a dump, I saw master, eldest uncle and father carrying you. Uncle Li Zheng was also meeting with them and then they sent you to some unknown place. At that time, it was too dark and I was scared to be alone. I was also sleepy at night so I went back to sleep. When I woke up the next day you were already at home. I asked our father and he said that you didn't go out at all that night, so I wondered if I remembered wrong in my dream. However, after that day you've been unhappy all day long. You've never smiled until your belly became bigger and bigger. Zhao Yuner listened to Zhao Tianan's statement, and her frown deepened. If what Zhao Tianan said was true, there was obviously something going on. Tianan, you're not lying to me, right? No. Zhao Tianan shook his head. How could I lie to you? But, second sister, there's something I don't understand. If I wasn't dreaming, why didn't father and grandfather admit it? Father also told me not to tell anyone and not to tell mother. Zhao Yuner snorted. The original owner was pregnant for no reason and these people had a lot to do with it. If they didn't do something wrong, how could they not tell others? However, Zhao Yuner still didn't know what had happened that night. Chapter 176. Nothing much happened in the next few days. Zhao Yuner was recuperating at home. Because the wound had been treated and the weather wasn't hot, it wasn't inflamed and suppurated. Lu Lei sent the bullfrogs back to Sun Xuanhuan to get money. In the past few days he had actually received 1 tael of silver. Zhao Yuner's earning speed made Lu Lei feel ashamed. He never thought that Zhao Yuner's bullfrogs could be sold for such a high price. After peeling off the skin, Lu Lei also thought that it was a toad. After Zhao Yuner explained, he realized that it was a species like bullfrogs that he had always mistaken for toads. After earning this money, Zhao Yuner bought some raw materials, rice oil and salt. She often brought back some pork to nourish the children's bodies. She also bought some candies which were used up quickly. After Zhao Yuner made a fuss last time, she didn't know if it was because Zhao Wenxing had returned and was busy with other things. Xuanhuan actually didn't think of separating her from the account. It seemed that she had to go to old Zhao's house again to make Xuanhuan remember. After eating dinner, Zhao Yuner carried her bath clothes and walked towards the river. She and Dao didn't have a lot of clothes. Each of them only had 2 sets of clothes and they were relatively thin. Daodu's clothes were the clothes that Zhao Tianfu had saved when he was young and gave them to Daodu. In the winter he also had a tattered jacket. Otherwise Daodu would get sick from the cold. In this kind of weather, there was no need to take a bath every day. However, Daodu brought the children to catch bullfrogs and would come back sweating profusely every day. Originally, only Zhu San'er accompanied Daodu and Zhao Tianfu. After Zhao Yuner distributed the candies, the other children found out and took the initiative to help Daodu catch the bullfrogs. Although she was too embarrassed to ask for candy at first, Zhao Yuner still took the initiative to give it to the children for the sake of their efforts. In the countryside, to the children, candy was definitely a very tempting thing. After giving them candy to eat, the children's attitude towards Zhao Yuner and Daodu changed drastically. The children who originally didn't want to play with Daodu were now playing with Daodu. In the past, when those brats saw Zhao Yuner, they would learn from their family members and call her little slut. Now when they see Zhao Yuner, they would politely call her Aunt Yun. Actually, the world of children was very simple. They basically relied on their parents to teach them. If the education was not good, the child would be uncultured and would be very naughty. However, with the right guidance, it was still relatively easy to teach children well. Zhao Yuner would sometimes make some meat buns and dumplings and give some to the children. Compared to the benefits they brought over for her, what she gave was nothing. Of course, there was another important reason for giving these children food. It was to let these children help her keep a secret and not tell their family members. You can't tell your family that Aunt Yun gave you these things to eat. You also can't say that you helped Aunt Yun catch bullfrogs. Otherwise, your parents will definitely not allow it. Then Aunt Yun won't be able to give you candies to eat in the future. Children were easy to deceive. When these children heard Zhao Yuner's words, they agreed in unison. Don't worry, Aunt Yun. We definitely won't say it. Good. This is a little secret between you and Aunt Yun. Let's keep it together, okay? Chapter 177. After making an agreement with these children, they really didn't go back and tell their families. With a few more children, the number of bullfrogs sent to Sun Zhangtian's family every day also increased. Zhao Yuner also knew that it was not a long-term solution to catch bullfrogs in the village. Not to mention that this matter would definitely be known by the villagers in the future. Even if they didn't know, the number of bullfrogs would decrease after a long period of catching them, and it would also affect the ecosystem. It was best to go to the nearby villages to catch them. She could adopt the method of acquisition and let others help catch and sell them to her. She would weigh them and give them a unified price. Then she would resell them to Sun Xuanhuan and earn the difference. Xiaoyun carried the wooden basin and went to the river. There were not many people by the river, only some women washing vegetables and preparing to cook. It was not very late at this time. Some people in the countryside ate late at night, especially those who did not have many hands at home. In addition to men working in the field, women also had to work in the field. When Zhao Yun'er went over, she began to wash the clothes. At night, the wind started to blow by the river. It was chilly. The cold water that was used to wash the clothes made their hands feel cold. She washed well by herself. She vaguely heard the discussion of a few women behind her, but she didn't pay attention to it. However, she slowly found that something was wrong. She seemed to have heard her name. Were they discussing her? Why were they discussing her? She stayed at home well. She didn't go out and cause any trouble these days. Why were they talking about her? Zhao Yun'er was about to finish washing. When she was about to get up, a big stone was suddenly thrown from behind. Suddenly, a lot of water splashed and the water splashed on Zhao Yun'er's face. Zhao Yun'er's face darkened. She was not a fool. Naturally, she knew that it was deliberately thrown. Throwing the clothes in her hand into the wooden basin, Zhao Yun'er stood up and looked coldly at the women behind her. Who is it? Zhao Yun'er asked coldly. However, Zhao Yun'er was aggressive, but none of the women paid attention to Zhao Yun'er. Instead, they laughed even louder. He was very happy to see Zhao Yun'er suffer. Zhao Yun'er's eyes suddenly turned cold. You don't want to talk? Very well. That meant they were in cahoots with each other to bully her. Zhao Yun'er picked up a stone on the ground and threw it into the water in front of the women. The water splashed and wet the women's clothes. The situation was more serious than Zhao Yun'er. At first, she didn't know who threw it, so it might be unfair to those who didn't throw it. However, it was obvious that some people didn't throw it, but they did participate in it, so there was no need for her to be merciful. If a real tiger did not show its might, she would be treated as a sick cat. Originally, Zhao Yun'er did not want to cause trouble, so she did not care about small matters. When she was a police officer, she was used to mediating. She would not pursue things that were not too excessive. He thought that after forgiving them once, these people would realize that they wouldn't do it again. In the end, Zhao Yun'er underestimated the quality of these country people. They were like dog shit that could not be shaken off. They could bully you once, but the next time they would be even more excessive. Damn it, she couldn't bear it anymore. In this world, there were really people who bullied the weak and feared the strong. Only when one was strong would no one dare to bully them. Chapter 178. You bitch. Why did you hit us? You got wet all over. If we catch a cold, we'll ask you to pay for our medical expenses. How dare you throw stones at us? You're quite bold. Have we been too nice to you? You're getting more and more arrogant. Our clothes are wet. Take them off and throw them to her to wash later. These people's aggressive attitudes didn't scare Zhao Yun'er at all. They were just tigers made of paper. They pretended to be fierce, but they didn't have much ability. Zhao Yun'er stared at these women coldly. These people's ability to turn black into white was really good. They were the ones who hit her first. Why didn't they say that she was wet too? What? You threw me but I can't throw you? Zhao Yun'er asked in a cold voice. After glancing at these people, she picked up the wooden basin on the ground and was ready to leave. Zhao Yun'er felt disgusted looking at their faces. But these women wouldn't allow Zhao Yun'er to leave. They didn't give her an explanation and she wanted to run away. How could there be such a good thing? Stop, Zhao Yun'er. Make it clear. What do you mean we threw you? Which eye of yours saw us throw you away? Are you hungry? Exactly, I didn't throw you away. Why did you get us wet? The corner of Zhao Yun'er's mouth hooked up into a cold arc. These people seemed to refuse to admit it even if they were beaten to death. It was a little interesting. Not you. Did that stone fly down from the sky? Zhao Yun'er said with a trace of sarcasm. Who knows if it flew down from the sky? Maybe it is. You should ask the heavens. Why are you asking us? Zhao Yun'er had seen a lot of strange people in the 21st century, but the strange people in this era were definitely far more strange than the 21st century. The overall quality of people in the 21st century was still better than people in ancient times. Of course, this was related to the education level in ancient times and the ignorance of the rural people in ancient times, which made these women become like this. If you say so, I naturally have nothing to say. However, the stone that I threw out was not originally meant for you. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but the stone made a curve in the air and fell in front of you. Maybe it was to punish the wicked? You can't blame me for this. You should blame the heavens. Zhao Yun'er's eyes flashed with craftiness. Since these people refused to admit it, she would give them a taste of their own medicine. Since he was shameless, he might as well be shameless to the end. You. These women were obviously annoyed by Zhao Yun'er. Shameless B****, who are you calling a bad person? Bitch, why are we still talking to her? This kind of person doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth if we don't teach her a lesson. Hit her. A few women rushed to Zhao Yun'er's side. Zhao Yun'er put down the wooden basin in her hand and loosened her shin. Fortunately, her leg was almost recovered. Even if she fought, it would be fine. She was also very calm when 4 or 5 women rushed over. Chapter 179. Of course, because of her reputation of fighting, no man dared to date her in her previous life. Since they came here to die, they couldn't blame her. Zhao Yun'er didn't do anything. She just stood by the river and dodged them easily. Then the women fell into the river one by one. Help! Help! The women who were struggling in the river began to shout. Zhao Yun'er frowned. She knew that these women couldn't swim, but they fell into the river bank. It was very shallow, so they wouldn't drown. At this time, a few men walked past the bank in 2s and 3s. They were the men who had finished their work in the fields and came back. After hearing the screams here, they ran over to save the women. Although these women had been rescued, they had also suffered a lot. They choked on a lot of water and were coughing violently at this moment. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. This little bitch, how dare she push people into the water? I'm going to argue with Li Zheng later. Is there any justice in this matter? Is it in line with the rules of our village? Cough, cough, cough. These women were coughing water while scolding Zhao Yun'er. Originally they wanted to let Zhao Yun'er suffer, but now they were the ones who suffered. How could they be willing to accept it? Hearing these women's words, the men who came to save the women thought that Zhao Yun'er pushed them into the water. When Zhao Yun'er was about to leave, they didn't let Zhao Yun'er leave. Yun'er, we've already called Li Zheng over. You pushed people into the water. Such a big thing. You should give us an explanation. A middle-aged man said to Zhao Yun'er. His tone wasn't very rude. Zhao Yun'er didn't want to waste her time, so she was naturally unhappy. Pushed people into the water? Uncle, what you said is wrong. They were the ones who threw themselves at me. I just moved aside and fell into the river by myself. How can you blame me for that? After Zhao Yun'er finished speaking, the middle-aged man seemed a little embarrassed. He looked at the women who were all wet. However, he only glanced at them. These women were drenched in water, and the curves of their bodies were drawn out. The men felt a little embarrassed when they looked at them, and their bodies unconsciously reacted. Little girl Yun'er, you're not lying like that. You didn't do anything, how could they fall into the river? Not to mention you, even I can't do that, let alone you. The middle-aged man obviously didn't believe Zhao Yun'er's words, so he didn't let Zhao Yun'er leave. In addition, those women did not intend to let Zhao Yun'er go. They insisted that Zhao Yun'er pushed them. Zhao Yun'er's pair of cold eyes swept over the several women and sneered, You said that I pushed you. Don't you know whether I touched you or not? Hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, some women felt guilty, but they still insisted that it was Zhao Yun'er. You pushed them. Well, since you said that I pushed you, how about this? Then do you dare to swear that if I didn't push you, you will be struck by lightning and die a horrible death? The women looked at each other. They really didn't dare to swear an oath. They were village chiefs, so they were under a lot of pressure. They paid attention to fairness and impartiality when dealing with things. Otherwise, if they didn't deal with things well, it would only make the villagers resentful and dissatisfied. It wouldn't be good for the village. Lu Fugui's gaze fell on Zhao Yun'er again. It seemed that he could only say something soft to Zhao Yun'er so that these women wouldn't keep harping on this matter. Chapter 182. Explanation? Zhao Yun'er put her hands on her waist, and her attitude was very arrogant. She just wants to extort money. Oh. Zhao Yun'er. If they hadn't seen Zhao Yun'er's fighting skills, these women would have beaten Zhao Yun'er up. Looking at Zhao Yun'er's attitude, it was fine if they couldn't punish her, but they couldn't take advantage of her at all. Li Zheng looked, this is her attitude. Why should such a person stay in the village? If she doesn't give us an explanation, I hope you can kick her out and never let her stay in our village in the future. Zhao Yun'er sneered, are you done talking? Back and forth with the same few sentences. It's annoying or not. Don't look for Li Zheng to argue with me. He won't chase me away. You know what happened today. If you have the ability you can argue with me. I'm not afraid of you. After saying this, Zhao Yun'er took the wooden basin and left. That nagging was really annoying. Before she left, the middle-aged man reached out to stop her, but Zhao Yun'er dodged him. After seeing Zhao Yun'er's fighting skills, the middle-aged man began to believe Zhao Yun'er's words. She didn't need to use her hands to push people into the water. Who is she? Li Zheng. These women still wanted to say something, but the middle-aged man next to them said, Sisters, what happened today is just your side of the story. You can't provide any evidence. After all, no one saw it and Li Zheng can't judge. If you feel uncomfortable, you'd better find Zhao Yun'er to settle the score. Don't make things difficult for Li Zheng. The middle-aged man's words were pertinent, and the women also felt guilty. It was true that they threw the stone first. Before they fell into the water, Zhao Yun'er didn't push them and they fell into the water. What bad luck. Forget it. We'll settle the score with her later. We don't need to trouble Li Zheng with this matter. Let's go back. Otherwise it's not good to catch a cold. It's so cold now. Tisk, if you didn't mention it, I wouldn't have felt it. Now that you mention it, I do feel a little cold. Hurry up and go back. The women left in twos and threes. Because of what the middle-aged man said, they felt that if they continued, they would definitely tell Lu Fugue what they saw and Zhao Yun'er's original explanation. In the end, she was still afraid that if this matter was really investigated and Li Zheng found out the truth, not only would he not pursue Zhao Yun'er, but he would also reprimand them. After the women left, Lu Fugue finally let out a sigh of relief. The look that Zhao Yun'er gave him before she left made Lu Fugue feel that there was a deep meaning behind it, as if she was warning him. Lu Fugue's heart trembled at the thought of what happened 3 years ago. Zhao Yun'er wouldn't tell anyone about this, right? If word got out, he wouldn't be able to stay as Li Zheng for long. After doing such a thing, how could he expect the people in the village to trust him in the future? Of course, he had always felt that he had let Zhao Yun'er down in this matter. With a sigh, Lu Fugue walked in the direction of his home. His slender figure seemed a little helpless. When Zhao Yun'er returned home, the sky was almost dark. When Daodu saw that Zhao Yun'er had returned, he looked up at Zhao Yun'er and said, Mother, why are you so late? Grandmother called little uncle back. Only Daodu is here. Chapter 183. Daodu shakes his head. Mother, don't be afraid, Daodu has Little Black to accompany Daodu. Zhao Yun'er looks down at Little Black, who is licking Daodu's hand. Little Black's appearance is extremely cute. After being raised in Zhao Yun'er's house for a few days, Little Black is not as thin as before, and has gained a little weight. Basically, if there was anything delicious, Zhao Yun'er and Daodu would not be reluctant to give it to Xiaohe. These days they often buy some meat back and Zhao Yun'er makes red braised pork. The meat soup is accompanied by rice and the taste is very good. Although Little Black's body is a little small, his appetite is not small. Basically, he can eat a bowl of rice every meal. Now that he has grown into a furry little thing, after spending so much time with Zhao Yun'er and Daodu, Little Black is even more attached to Daodu and Zhao Yun'er. Naturally, Daodu is also very fond of Little Black. Whenever he is free, Daodu likes to hug Little Black. If Zhao Yun'er didn't allow it, Daodu would probably take Little Black to sleep with him. Zhao Yun'er now hopes that Little Black can grow up faster. In the future, not only can he guard the door, he can also follow Daodu behind and he can also protect Daodu. It's not too dangerous and with a big dog protecting him, he should be fine. That Daodu is awesome. Zhao Yun'er smiles and kisses Daodu's forehead. Daodu smiles shyly. Mother, why are you wet? Daodu touches Zhao Yun'er's body and finds that it is wet. Zhao Yun'er didn't say what happened by the river, and even if she did, Daodu wouldn't understand. Even if he understood, Zhao Yun'er doesn't want Daodu to worry about her. Zhao Yun'er only wants this little milk bun to grow up happily under her wings. Mother went to the river to wash clothes and accidentally got water on me. Oh, then Mother, let's go make a fire and dry your clothes, otherwise Mother will catch a cold. Daodu pulls Zhao Yun'er's hand and starts to drag her into the kitchen. He is so tender at such a young age, but he knows how to care for others. Zhao Yun'er's lips can't help but curve into a gentle smile. This kind of simple life is really good. If she knew how cute this little bun was, this in her previous life would have given birth. Zhao Yun'er follows Daodu's instructions and makes a fire in the kitchen, then dries her clothes. At night, she and Dao go to bed early together. Early the next morning, xuanhuan comes to the door and makes a fuss about the separation of accounts, completely separating Zhao Yun from old Zhao family's account. The reason why xuanhuan was so anxious was because she heard what happened yesterday. Zhao Yun is causing trouble, and she is afraid that other people will come looking for trouble because Zhao Yun is still in the old Zhao family's account. She doesn't want to be the scapegoat for what Zhao Yun did. In addition, if Zhao Yun continues to cause trouble like this, her reputation will be even worse, and it will affect the other girls in old Zhao family. She hopes that Zhao Xinhui can marry into a good family, so she can't ruin the future of the other girls in old Zhao family because of Zhao Yun's behavior. It seems that only by kicking Zhao Yun out of the old Zhao family's account can Zhao Yun be considered as not a member of old Zhao family. Chapter 184. Without hesitation, Zhao Yun agreed to go to Li Zheng's place with xuanhuan and Zhao Baoshan to go through the separation procedures. After the separation, old Zhao's family wouldn't have to worry about the money she earned in the future. After she saved enough money, she could buy land and build a house. These things wouldn't have to go through old Zhao's family. Seeing that Zhao Yun agreed, xuanhuan didn't continue to make a fuss. She felt that Zhao Yun was an eyesore. xuanhuan as a woman couldn't get involved in the separation procedures at Li Zheng's place, so she handed it over to Zhao Baoshan. On the way, Zhao Baoshan said to Zhao Yun, are you really planning to separate? Zhao Yun saw the guilt in Zhao Baoshan's eyes. The corners of her mouth curled up as she said, Grandpa, is it okay if I don't separate? Zhao Baoshan sighed. Yun, if you don't want to separate, I'll talk to your grandma later and persuade her again. It should be okay. Zhao Yun looked at Zhao Baoshan deeply. Of course, she wouldn't let Zhao Baoshan persuade xuanhuan. It wasn't easy for her to have the opportunity to separate. If she let Zhao Baoshan persuade her again, wouldn't she be smashing her own feet? However, Zhao Yun still wanted to keep Zhao Baoshan in suspense to see if she could dig out the past. Grandpa, what good will it do me if I don't separate? Has old Zhao's family ever given me anything over the years? When I was bullied, did they come out to help me? Zhao Yun asked in a sarcastic tone. Zhao Baoshan seemed to be unusually embarrassed. He looked at Zhao Yun apologetically and said, Yun, I know we've wronged you all these years. All right, Grandpa, you don't need to say any more. It won't do me any good if we don't separate. After the separation, I'll be more comfortable alone, so Grandma won't keep nagging me. Zhao Baoshan heaved a deep sigh. He had wronged this girl all these years. He indeed didn't do a good job. When something happened, he could only escape. Zhao Yun was disappointed in old Zhao's family, so it was normal that she wanted to separate. Zhao Baoshan walked in front of Zhao Yun, looking helpless and lonely. Zhao Yun said softly behind Zhao Baoshan, Grandpa, you're acting like this because you feel guilty in your heart. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be like this today. Zhao Baoshan was struck dumb for a second. He stopped and looked back at Zhao Yun. Yun, I know I'm sorry for what I've done to you. But there's nothing I can do about it. Zhao Baoshan's face was full of helplessness. He didn't know how to justify his previous actions. However, it seemed that no matter how he explained, it was useless because Zhao Yun shouldn't have been sacrificed in this matter. Zhao Yun stared coldly at Zhao Baoshan. She wasn't a kind-hearted person. She would forgive others if they pretended to be helpless and apologetic. Old Zhao's family made the original host pregnant before marriage. The suffering she had suffered in the past few years wasn't something that could be forgiven by a simple sentence of forgiveness. There's nothing you can do about it? You have to sacrifice my life just because there's nothing you can do about it? Zhao Yun questioned. This question was asked on behalf of the original host, and she wanted to continue to fish for information from Zhao Baoshan. Chapter 185. When Zhao Baoshan said this, he frowned. He must have been very worried about what had happened that year. After a pause, he continued, At that time, Li Zheng came to find us. He said that he needed an innocent girl for a night. He was in a hurry. He gave 100 taels of silver for a night. Grandpa, your father, and your uncle discussed and sent you there. After listening to Zhao Baoshan, Zhao Yun roughly knew what had happened. In other words, someone had spent 100 taels of silver to buy an innocent girl for a night. Then old Zhao's family happened to be short of money, so they sold the original Zhao Yun's body. Unexpectedly, the original Zhao Yun became pregnant after only one night. Damn, it was so ridiculous. How could such a thing happen in this era? Were these people's consciences eaten by dogs back then? Couldn't they sell their family's land if they didn't have money? Would it even reach the point of selling an innocent girl? What, there's no way? That was all nonsense. Damn it, she was so angry. The original Xiaoyun was so pitiful. She was sold by her family for 100 taels of silver. In modern times, 100 taels of silver was equivalent to 100,000 yuan. How could a woman's life not be worth 100,000 yuan? This was a feudal society, not the 21st century. In the 21st century, even if a woman had slept with another man before, she could still get married. However, women in ancient times were different. It was impossible for her to find a good husband if she lost her chastity. Zhao Yun'er guessed that the original Zhao Yun'er was misunderstood after she became pregnant. Zhao Baoshan and the others didn't dare to say the reason because they were afraid that it would be embarrassing for them if others knew about it. They would be scolded to death for this kind of thing. For money they really didn't care about anything else. On one hand they were afraid of being scolded. On the other hand they were afraid that Liang Jinxiao would make trouble for them. Zhao Yun'er believed that Liang Jinxiao would rather die than sacrifice his own daughter in exchange for money to cure his illness. The original Zhao Yun didn't tell others about it because she didn't want her mother, who she had saved with great difficulty, to have another accident. Therefore, in the end, only the original Zhao Yun was the victim. She had been wronged for so many years. The men in old Zhao's family were really heartless. After hearing Zhao Baoshan's words, Zhao Yun'er's chest heaved up and down. She really wanted to catch those men and interrogate them one by one. How could they be so heartless? And beat them up. Seeing Zhao Yun'er's face turn black, Zhao Baoshan wanted to say something. Yun? Zhao Yun'er glanced at Zhao Baoshan coldly. That's enough. Don't pretend in front of me. I won't forgive you no matter how you pretend. You'd better not do anything to offend me. Otherwise, I don't mind telling others about what happened that year and let old Zhao's family be ruined. The fierceness in Zhao Yun'er's eyes scared Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Baoshan's heart couldn't help trembling. At this moment he believed what Zhao Yun'er said. Zhao Yun'er took a few deep breaths to calm herself down. Fortunately, she wasn't the original Zhao Yun. If this kind of thing really happened to her, she would definitely take a knife to kill them. Chapter 186. Zhao Baoshan nodded at once. Sure, Yun'er, go ahead. I'll tell you everything you want to know. Who's the man who bought me? If she knew who the man who bought her was, she would know who Daodu's biological father was. Although she never planned to take Daodu to see her biological father, it was better for her to know. Perhaps she could avoid Daodu in the future once she knew who the man was. She didn't want her father to take Daodu away from her if he found out about Daodu's existence. Oh, Yun'er, grandpa doesn't know, but what? Zhao Yun'er raised her eyebrows. However, that person's identity shouldn't be simple. Back then, at the foot of our village's mountain, a group of people came and camped there for a period of time. I heard that they were from the imperial court. No one knows what they were doing at the foot of the mountain. Back then it was Li Zheng who brought us there, Zhao Baoshan recalled as he spoke. Since they're from the government, they must be someone important. Yun'er, even if you have Daodu, don't think about it anymore. They must be someone important. It's possible that they won't accept an abandoned child. In this era, illegitimate children weren't accepted very well. That was why Zhao Baoshan said that to remind Zhao Yun'er. He thought that Zhao Yun'er wanted to bring Daodu back to her family. Zhao Yun'er glanced at Zhao Baoshan. I see. That was all Zhao Baoshan knew. Zhao Yun'er was sure that Daodu's father must be someone important, but she didn't know who he was. After walking for a few minutes, they arrived at Li Zheng's house. After explaining the purpose of their visit, Li Zheng quickly agreed. Perhaps out of guilt, Lu Fugue agreed to bring Zhao Yun'er to Yang City the next day to settle the procedures for the separation of households. Then he would create a separate female household for Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er was happy to do so. Zhao Yun'er felt that Lu Fugue's eagerness to help was justified. Since he had participated in this matter, now he had to make some compensation for his actions. After discussing with Lu Fugue, Zhao Yun'er went back. When she reached home, she saw Mulan at her door. She was holding a basket filled with vegetables. Zhao Yun'er greeted Mulan with a smile. Sister-in-law Mulan, why are you here? I'm here to bring you some vegetables. The vegetables in your house haven't grown yet, so you shouldn't have any vegetables to eat now, right? Anyway, I have a lot of vegetables at home, so I brought some over, Mulan said with a smile. Looking at the vegetables in Mulan's basket, Zhao Yun'er didn't refuse. These days she didn't have any vegetables to eat at home. Basically they only ate wild vegetables and meat. She wanted to eat some fresh vegetables, especially the ones that were grown in the countryside. Sister-in-law Mulan, you're too polite. Mulan smiled. It's nothing. It's just some vegetables. These things aren't worth much. Basically, every family has some. Moreover, Dao often tells me what he ate at your place. You're so nice. Dao helped me. It's only right that I give him some food at home. Chapter 187. Zhao Yuner was really afraid that the old lady of family Zhu would blame Mulan if she knew that Mulan had sent so many vegetables over. Mulan shook her head. It's fine. My mother agreed to let me send them over. Didn't you go to my house last time? My sister-in-law's baby is almost cured according to your method. My mother also wants to thank you. Zhao Yuner nodded. So that was the reason. Since that was the case, she felt more at ease after accepting Mulan's dishes. Thank you, sister-in-law Mulan. I'll take them. It's fine. You're welcome, Mulan said with a smile. Zhao Yuner asked Mulan to sit and rest in her house for a while, but Mulan refused. Yuner, I have to go back to work. I can't live without you. Looking at the tiredness on Mulan's face, she knew that she was overworked. Mulan took care of a lot of family Zhu's affairs by herself. It happened to be the busy season of farming, so Mulan was busy every day. Not to mention other things, nowadays men's clothes would be stained with mud. If they were dirty, they would have to wash them every day, which was also a huge project. Mulan's sister-in-law had just given birth to a baby. She was still nursing the baby, so naturally she wouldn't ask her to help with too many things. Zhao Yuner understood Mulan's difficulties, so she didn't continue to ask Mulan to stay. She said to Mulan, well, sister-in-law Mulan, take care. Before Mulan left, she looked at Zhao Yuner. She hesitated for a while and wanted to say something. What's wrong, sister-in-law Mulan? Yuner, well, what happened? Looking at Mulan's hesitant expression, Zhao Yuner was both curious and anxious. Mulan sighed. Yuner, there are some things that I have to remind you of. Otherwise no one will remind you. Zhao Yuner was even more curious. She leaned over and asked, Sister-in-law Mulan, what's going on? Yuner, if you meet Lu San in the future, stay away from him. Zhao Yuner frowned, not knowing what Mulan meant. She didn't usually have the chance to interact with Lu San. He was such a disgusting man. In fact, even without Mulan's reminder, Zhao Yuner would have stayed far away from him. However, Mulan's sudden words meant that something must have happened. Sister-in-law Mulan, tell me, did something happen? Being asked by Zhao Yuner, Mulan didn't want to tell her, but she felt that it would be better if Zhao Yuner didn't know about it. After thinking for a while, Mulan told Zhao Yuner what had happened. Yuner, there's a rumor in our village these days. What is it? It has something to do with me? Yeah. It said that you have a relationship with Lu San, and you seduced Lu San. I don't believe it, but Yuner, I don't believe it, not because other people don't believe it, but because it's the kind of rumor that can drown people. If you see Lu San in the village, you should stay away from him. Otherwise, if other people see you, they might say something bad. Hearing that, Zhao Yuner nodded. She said to Mulan with gratitude. Mulan, thank you for trusting me and reminding me. Chapter 188. Okay, Mulan, I got it. By the way, Mulan, do you know who spread the rumor? There was no smoke without fire. Someone must be behind this and adding fuel to the fire. If she knew who it was, she definitely wouldn't let it go easily. How dare they link her to Lu San? Mulan shook her head and said, Yuner, I don't know who spread the rumor either. I just heard them talking about it when I was washing clothes by the river. Alright then, sister-in-law Mulan. Yuner, I'm going back now. If there's anything else, let me know. Zhao Yuner nodded. After Mulan left, Zhao Yuner thought for a while. She didn't offend anyone, so why did someone frame her? She thought of a few people in her mind, but she didn't have any evidence, so she couldn't go to them. The next day, Zhao Yuner didn't ask Lu Lei to help her deliver the bullfrog. She went to deliver it herself, and also went to the government office to settle the matters of the separation of households and the establishment of female households. Early in the morning they went to Yang City in a carriage. When Zhao Baoshan and Lu Fugue were having breakfast, Zhao Yuner went to Feline restaurant. Now she just went there every day to weigh in and pay, so it only took about 10 minutes. After Zhao Yuner came back from delivering the bullfrog, Zhao Baoshan asked curiously, Yuner, where did you go just now? Zhao Yuner wouldn't tell Zhao Baoshan what she really did, so she replied casually, nothing. Lu Lei got some game and asked me to deliver it to the restaurant, so I delivered it on my way. Zhao Baoshan nodded and said, "Well, Yuner, hurry up and eat. I ordered a basket of soup dumplings. They don't taste good when they're cold." Zhao Baoshan said and asked Zhao Yuner to eat. Seeing that Zhao Yuner didn't sit down, Zhao Baoshan said again, "Yuner, it's fine. Sit down and eat. Grandpa will pay for the soup dumplings. You don't need to pay." Zhao Baoshan was very attentive to Zhao Yuner because he felt guilty. Since Zhao Baoshan said so, Zhao Yuner didn't refuse Zhao Baoshan. A steamer of soup dumplings only cost 4 copper coins, which was nothing compared to the money she made from selling the soup dumplings. Even if she ate with a clear conscience. If she didn't eat in the morning, she would be hungry when she returned to the village later. Zhao Yuner finished eating all the soup dumplings. Zhao Baoshan and Lu Fugue also finished eating and waited for Zhao Yuner. After Zhao Yuner finished eating, they went to the magistrate court together. There were many people in the magistrate court and they were all queuing up. By the time Zhao Yuner finished the procedures, more than an hour had passed. After registering as a female, the magistrate court issued a thin booklet to Zhao Yuner, which was similar to a household register in the 21st century. If she lost this booklet, she could go to the magistrate court to register again. In the future, she would still need this certificate to buy and sell land. After the procedures were completed, Zhao Yuner heaved a sigh of relief. From now on, she really had nothing to do with old Zhao's family. No matter how good her life was in the future, she wouldn't care about old Zhao's family. She was also not afraid that they would take advantage of the fact that she didn't have a separate household. After leaving the magistrate court, Zhao Yuner didn't go with Zhao Baoshan and Lu Fugue. Instead, she went to the market to buy some things. Chapter 189. In the past, she was poor, so she couldn't afford to buy anything for Daodu. Now that she had sold Bullfrog and earned some money, Zhao Yuner wanted to buy some good things for Daodu. Daodu's clothes were already very shabby. He had never worn new clothes in his life. Children had soft skin and tender flesh, so they always wore coarse cloth clothes. Coarse cloth clothes were very painful to wear, so they weren't very comfortable and couldn't be compared to cotton clothes. There were many shops that sold clothes and cloth in Yang City. Generally, ready-made clothes were slightly more expensive. If one bought cloth and made clothes themselves, it would be much cheaper. Zhao Yuner earned some money, but she didn't want to waste it. It was better to save as much as possible. After all, if she wanted to build a house later, it would be a bigger expense. There were more rich people living in Yang City. The shops on the streets sold better cloth or silk. Zhao Yuner found a few shops and asked about the price. It was at least a few hundred copper coins and 1 tael of silver. Of course, it was normal for some expensive silk to cost dozens of taels or hundreds of taels. In Zhao Yuner's eyes, this kind of thing was a luxury right now. She couldn't afford it for the time being. Buying cloth for Daodu to make clothes was fine as long as it was comfortable to wear. She wouldn't consider expensive clothes at the moment. Zhao Yuner found a few shops and finally found a shop in a small alley with good things and relatively low prices. However, it wasn't in the downtown area. The rent of the shop was relatively low, so the things in the shop were cheaper than other shops. Zhao Yuner went to the shop and picked some things. In the end, she chose a bolt of sapphire blue cloth and bought it. It cost 230 copper coins. She only earned 250 copper coins from xuanhuan today. Today she spent all her money on cloth. After buying the cloth, Zhao Yuner put it in the basket on her back and prepared to go back. Suddenly a figure jumped out of the alley. His purple clothes were stained with blood. With the arrival of this person, the tip of Zhao Yuner's nose also smelled a bloody smell. She couldn't help but frown and step back vigilantly. What was going on? Could it be a robbery? She had encountered many such situations in the 21st century. When she fixed her eyes and saw clearly, Zhao Yuner exclaimed in her heart for a while. This person was none other than Mu Lianfeng. Who could tell her what was going on? Zhao Yuner rushed to Mu Lianfeng, helped Mu Lianfeng up from the ground and asked, "What's wrong with you? Young Master Mu, how did you suffer such serious injuries? Wasn't it the crown prince?" There had to be someone to protect Mu Lianfeng, but there was no one by his side. If no one had discovered such a serious injury outside, would he have died outside? When Mu Lianfeng heard Zhao Yuner's voice, he raised his head and met her eyes. When he saw Zhao Yuner, he seemed a little surprised. "Miss Yuner, how are you?" "No, I have to take you to the medical center first." If such a serious injury wasn't treated properly, it was easy to get into trouble. Mu Lianfeng pulled Zhao Yuner and nodded. "No, Miss Yuner, we can't go to the medical center now. Otherwise, you will be in danger." Chapter 190. Okay, I'll listen to you. Don't talk. Take a rest first. Zhao Yun was curious, but she didn't ask too much. Mu Lianfeng was in such a condition. If she said another word, she would be in more danger. Of course, Zhao Yun knew that Mu Lianfeng must have a reason for not letting her go to the clinic. Just like his injuries, there must be some special reason. Zhao Yun helped Mu Lianfeng to sit down and let Mu Lianfeng take a breath. Suddenly, another figure appeared in the alley. It was a man in black. His face was covered with a black veil. He was similar to the man Zhao Yun saw in the TV series before. The man in black found Mu Lianfeng and Zhao Yun and rushed in their direction. Was the man in black's target Mu Lianfeng? When Mu Lianfeng saw the man in black, his dark eyes suddenly became gloomy and his gaze was very vigilant. Mu Lianfeng protected Zhao Yun behind him and whispered in Zhao Yun's ear, "Be careful." Zhao Yun's heart also tightened. That was to say, the man in black was really dangerous. With Mu Lianfeng's injuries, how could he deal with it? Seeing the man in black rushing over, Mu Lianfeng quickly got up from the ground and confronted the man in black. But in the end he was seriously injured. He couldn't fight back at all. Soon he was at a disadvantage. The air was filled with an even stronger smell of blood. Zhao Yun saw that Mu Lianfeng was at a disadvantage and couldn't help but feel anxious. If this continued, Mu Lianfeng's injuries would be more serious. She was good at fighting, but the man in black obviously knew kung fu. Zhao Yun didn't have the confidence to fight back. Looking around, he found a long bamboo pole and rushed over. Regardless of whether it worked or not, he had to at least give it a try. Otherwise, Mu Lianfeng might not be able to hold on and collapse. Zhao Yun poked the black-clothed man with her bamboo pole. The black-clothed man paused. Apparently he was hurt by Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun's behavior should have angered the black-clothed man. The black-clothed man's attention immediately turned to Zhao Yun. It seemed that he wanted to deal with Zhao Yun first before dealing with Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun's long bamboo pole was chopped by the black man and broke into 2 pieces. Then the black-clothed man's long saber stabbed towards Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun's brows were tightly knitted together. A strong sense of danger also attacked Zhao Yun. Fortunately, the training in the police academy was more strict. She also practiced a good set of skills. Although the black-clothed man knew kung fu, he thought that Zhao Yun was just an ordinary woman. He didn't expect that Zhao Yun would be able to dodge his attack. The black-clothed man was obviously startled, but then he waved his saber more fiercely. He wanted to kill Zhao Yun with one blow. Mu Lianfeng's handsome brows were tightly knitted together. He endured the injuries on his body and rushed over, blocking in front of Zhao Yun. His arm was cut by a knife again. Looking at the blood that was spilling out, it was a bit too ghastly. Did this man not want to live anymore? For her, wasn't he afraid of death? Looking deeply at Mu Lianfeng, there was an indescribable feeling in her heart. Zhao Yun's eyes were filled with resentment at the black-clothed man. Chapter 191. Gotcha. The sound was very crisp. The man in black roared in pain, and his other hand was about to hit Zhao Yun. Before he could touch Zhao Yun's body, he was thrown over her shoulder by Zhao Yun and fell heavily to the ground. Zhao Yun immediately stepped down again and stepped on the man in black's chest. The man in black was injured by Zhao Yun and couldn't get up. This was not enough. Zhao Yun picked up a thick wooden stick on the ground and smashed it on the man in black's head. The man in black lying on the ground fainted directly. Zhao Yun probed the man in black's nostrils to see if he was dead or alive. If others wanted to kill her, it was their business. She didn't dare to kill. As a commoner, if he were to kill someone without any connections, he would be sentenced to death even if he were to go to the magistrate court. It was really not worth it to sacrifice her own life for someone else's life. After confirming that the man in black was not dead, Zhao Yun breathed a sigh of relief. Zhao Yun turned back and saw Mu Lianfeng leaning against the corner of the wall. A lot of cold sweat had seeped out of his forehead. His injury was so serious that it was probably very difficult for him to endure. "Are you okay? I'll take you away now." He couldn't go to the clinic, but at least he had to treat the wound. If the blood flow dried up, he probably wouldn't live for long in the future. Mu Lianfeng stared at Zhao Yun a few times. Seeing that nothing happened to Zhao Yun, his beautiful eyes began to close. "Mu Lianfeng, what's wrong with you? Are you okay?" Zhao Yun called a few times, but Mu Lianfeng didn't answer. Fainted? Zhao Yun was a little flustered. How could she get such a big man back? Who knew how many dangers were waiting on this street? Since one black-clothed man had appeared, a second black-clothed man would definitely appear. Taking Mu Lianfeng directly to the streets would not work. She had to think of another way. She couldn't ignore Mu Lianfeng. What should she do? As Zhao Yun pondered, she realized that Mu Lianfeng couldn't be exposed like this. Zhao Yun hurriedly ran to the previous shop and bought a set of cheap coarse clothes. 80 copper coins was already the lowest price in the shop. Zhao Yun hurriedly put the coarse clothes on Mu Lianfeng. She rubbed some dust on the ground and smeared it on Mu Lianfeng's face, so that people couldn't see Mu Lianfeng's true appearance. It also made Mu Lianfeng's appearance more similar to that of a country bumpkin. After these modifications, Zhao Yun'er felt that it would not be easy to recognize Mu Lianfeng. If she didn't look carefully, she wouldn't be able to recognize him either. Zhao Yun'er hurriedly found an ox cart and prepared to rent it to go back to the village. Mu Lianfeng was with her, pretending to be a country bumpkin couple so that they wouldn't attract attention. She didn't want to bring Mu Lianfeng home. She didn't know the way to the Shizi's mansion. Even if she asked around, who knew if they would be stopped on the way? Zhao Yun'er wanted to wait until Mu Lianfeng woke up. The ox cart back to the village cost 30 copper coins. Zhao Yun'er didn't feel bad about the money. After all, it was impossible for her to take Mu Lianfeng to Old Man Hu's ox cart. The man driving the ox cart was a middle-aged man. Zhao Yun'er led the ox cart to an alley. Zhao Yun'er asked the man for help. The two of them carried Mu Lianfeng onto the ox cart. The middle-aged man driving the ox cart asked curiously, "Young lady, is this your husband?" You're tuning in to the Sword Dance in the Vast Sky YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.